So, hey all, I'm Devesh and I'm here to present you both the short story, The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin. Sorry I took long today to prepare the slide. So, without any further ado, let's move on to the content. Sorry. Then, first let's see about the author. Kate Chopin, as you definitely would have known, she was an American short story writer and novelist, but she's prominently known for this short story, The Story of an Hour, and she's even known for her realistic fictional works, and many scholars even consider her to be the forerunner of the 20th century feminist writers. Then, she's best known for one novel out of two novels, which is called The Awakening, published in 1899. Her other works include The Storm, At Fault, etc. The Story of an Hour was written in 1894. Then, let's look about the theme and plot of the short story. The entire story tries to convey these major four themes: the oppressive nature involved in marriage, then societal pressures, freedom, identity. Then the plot of the short story. To sum up the story in 2 lines, the story is revolves around the central character Louis Mallard, who was implicitly suppressed by a husband. But he always was very caring towards Louis. And through this short story, we get to walk through the psychological state of Louis Mallard. Then towards we find Louis gets informed about Brentley's demise, which is false and incorrect statement brought in by Richards. Then towards the end, Brentley comes in opening the door. So Louis, with a short period of freedom, died screaming. Then there are 4 major characters in the story and 4 only characters in the story. Louis Mallard, wife of Brentley, who has heart problem. Then Brentley, husband of Louis, who from the beginning is mistaken as dead, and he is revealed at the end that he is alive. Then Richards is the friend of Brentley, who brings in the false information of Brentley's demise. Then Josephine, who consoles Louis, and is a sister. She helps her in distress. Then let's quickly go through the summary of the short story. This is already a short story, but to make you understand, I have composed it in 10 points. Then the story starts with Richards collecting information about Brentley's demise from the list from a newspaper office. He brings home the news. Then Josephine conveys this news softly to Louis because of a heart problem. Then Louis sobs quite a bit. Then unusual sob. She locks herself into the room upstairs. Then Louis comfortably sinks into a chair. Then in a relaxed state, she looks through the window where she finds nature, that landscape. Then she sees birds chirping, blue patches of sky, peddler crying, selling his wares. This is street vendors. Then she even senses breath of the rain. The season which is being described here is spring season, which means a period of freedom, happiness, The spring is a representative of happiness. Then in the latter part, we find Louis unable to control uttering the word free thrice. Then, uh, after this sensation, she is reminded of her husband Friendly's warmth, but she neglects it because it is nothing in compared to her upcoming freedom, to her new life. Because she thought of ending, she thought that she wanted her life to be short. But after this incident, she hopes for a new, long, better life. Then, as Josephine pleads, Louis comes out of the room and they unwind the stairs together. So, when going downstairs, suddenly Brentley opens the door, unaware of the entire situation. He is not aware of anything. So, Richards unsuccessfully tries to block Brentley from Louis' side, but Louis sees him, she screams and she dies. And the doctors who come announce her death as a death out of joy, a joy that kills them. Then we are coming to the analysis of the short story. This is the most important part because the short story itself is told to convey some message. This short story is definitely a classic relic which even applies to this day. We can apply this. So this short story is economical in use. Of course, short story doesn't use a large number of words. Even in language we find very brief description. So then the short story even reflects the constraints forced upon women of the later 19th century. Even now this can be applied, this can be seen. Then the stream of conscious technique is used in this short story, but in narration. Louis does not communicate this, but in narration, Kate Chopin communicates this. Then through the story we even see about marital unhappiness and mutual oppression, which means couple implicitly oppress each other with their opinions forcefully. That's what it tries to convey. Then the story thrashes autocracy, meaning patriarchal nature, forcing one's opinions on other people, especially women. Then even individual freedom is being stressed here. And even Kate Chopin urges to avoid overprotection through this short story and emphasizes the idea of liberation. This story even comments on the then society, her contemporary society, which did not allow women to express themselves. Of course, the short story is open-ended because it is unclear what happened to Louis, because we just see one sentence, that a doctor's announcement and then a death. Then this is the irony of the short story, that Louis is misinterpreted that because of the joy she died because of the joy that kills, but rather out of disappointment she dies because of her lost freedom. Then key takeaways from the short story, which is the moral values we derive from the short story. So individual freedom is a must. We must grant every individual freedom. Then the society must not pressurize to force and exhibit their own whims and prejudices, their own will, etc. Then mutual trust and understanding is a must for married couple. Then instead of overprotection, we must care for each other. We must care for each and every other living being. Then yes, this is purely Richard's mistake, not purely even partly Louis' mistake. Then but one must factually check some information before being conveyed. If you're trying to convey an information, you must factually check it because it can cause undesirable consequences. So the literary devices used in the short story I have described only 5. There are many, but to make this video short and crisp, I have limited it to 5. That is the symbolism. The window symbolizes freedom, through which Louis explores her upcoming future. The heart condition portrays the vulnerability or the oppressive nature of the then society, and the storm represents Louis' inner storm, psychological storm, and then how she comes out of it. She dies. Then imagery. There's a lot of visual imagery. Through Louis we see her views about the sky, the trees, peddler, birds, rain. All these portray the newfound freedom of Louis. Then irony, which means the line says something but it just conveys the opposite. A joy that kills is being announced by the doctor, but actually Louis dies out of disappointment and extreme sorrow. Then repetition. The word free is repeated thrice for emphasis, and Louis' craving for individual freedom. Style. The short story is written in a poetic manner with long sentences and with some lyrical language, figurative language, using metaphor and simile. The author is comparing Louis' freedom to sky, trees, birds, rain, peddler, etc., to convey the newfound sense of freedom. Then, so definitely you would have known about Louis' character. So I will touch upon. Louis is the protagonist and wife of Bentley. She has heart disease. She has a thirst for freedom, underlying because it is not explicitly mentioned. Then, explicitly in the sense, it was in her heart all this time after marriage. We come to know that she loves Bentley, but because of her lost freedom, she just ignores it, shrugs it off. Then Louis is a symbol through which Kate highlights the disadvantage or tensions caused by societal pressures and the need of individual freedom. Then we come to see about Bentley Mallard. He's the husband of Louis, who loves her, but is the implied antagonist. He's not explicitly portrayed as an antagonist, but his character is being criticized by Kate Chopin, that he is not allowing decision-making power to Louis, and he always overprotects her, makes people outside, and he keeps her inside. Then Bentley definitely works as a man for his family. Sorry, it is not biased. Then, though he implicitly suppresses Louis, he provides Louis with all the necessities for a heart problem, like a comfortable cushion chair, a separate room, medications, etc. Then, as I already told you, implicitly suppresses. Then, through Bentley, Kate symbolizes the dangers of overprotection. She criticizes overprotection. Then, just a brief sketch about Josephine and Richards. We come to see Josephine is the sister of Louis, a caring one who's tender in nature, and she's the one who truly worries for Louis' future and caters to her comfort. Then Richards is the culprit behind this entire scene. Partly, is a friend of Bentley, but and it's also the main, or maybe proponent is the best thing we can say. Proponent for Louis' death. So that's all for today's lesson. So thank you. I hope you understood. See, this is not a substitute for reading the short story. Just to explain and make you understand, I'm posting this video. So kindly do like, comment if you have any doubts, and kindly follow the guidelines. Please share and subscribe to my channel. So thank you. Have a nice day.